Good morning, canal lovers. Got a slight situation going on, which is that my alternator's broken. Not just any alternator, the powerful alternator, the domestic alternator. Now, normally what would happen is there'd be a 5-minute interminably boring electrics lecture about stuff I don't even know about anyway, that much, so not going to do that. I'll explain as I go. Door's closed. I've also run out of diesel, so what I've done to make the trip to the garage quicker is I've bought 2 of these little 5-litre containers that you see here, and I've put them inside a plastic bag. Also the nozzle, don't need that, that'll just get in the way. And hopefully the plastic bag will stop the diesel leaking into my rucksack and ruining my rucksack effectively, because I'm going to ride to the... Actually, they'd fit in the panniers. Anyway, panniers are just as expensive as the rucksack, to be fair. Right, so there we are, we're ready to go and get 10 litres of much needed diesel. I thought I had loads and loads of fuel, and it turns out I had almost none, so that was stupid. Never really happened before. And I filled up. Sorry, didn't fill up. I can't fill up at the moment because this spot here, you can see there's a big line of boats stretching round the corner there. All the moorings in this area are full. Actually, there's one now over there. My worry is if I move this boat down to the marina, which is a mile that way, I will lose this spot. And I've got a repairman coming for the alternator. Hopefully that's tomorrow. But I've got to collect the alternator first. The new one, I mean. It's not a fixed job, it's a replace job. Now, there's all sorts of ramifications. What the alternator does is it creates electricity to recharge your batteries. Now normally solar panels do that, but of course anyone... Hang on. Hi guys, can I just squeeze past there? I'm going that way. There we go. Thanks. I just tried to cut the corner but not go into the road, and had to step off briefly. Anyway, right, so the alternator charges your batteries. I've got a big one and a little one. The little one still works, but it's so weak it takes like 6 hours, maybe more, to charge up the batteries. That's 6 hours of engine running every single day to recharge the batteries, which is just not acceptable. That's loads and loads of fuel. 6 litres, possibly more, 1.5 an hour, I don't know. People say an hour, a litre an hour running your engine. I think it's a bit more than that, maybe 1.5 litres, I don't know. But it's a lot of diesel, and it's just to recharge a fairly modest amount of electricity back into the batteries. So I've got to get the big alternator working, or replaced, because I can't afford... Just checking, yeah, we're all clear. I can't afford to be spending that much, well, just running the engine for 6 hours a day. It's ludicrous, you can't do that. It's not a way to boat sustainably. So, normally with the big alternator, it takes 1.5 hours to fully recharge the batteries. So, I've been running it, and I therefore need to replace the fuel. So to do that, I need to use this. So here's my cunning plan. Park the bike, no need to lock it because it'll be within sight. Get the bags out, get the bottles out, and fill those up. You can only take, I believe, 20 litres by hand when you do this. Anyway, so they go on the ground. And what you do is you you just pay. You don't even have to go into the shop. Okay, so now we get the diesel. Okay, so before I start, I'm going to take the tops off both, so they're both ready to go. There we go. As I say, I just need 10 litres, and you're supposed to put the container on the ground and just away you go. You can't see how full it's getting, so whoops, fill slowly and just, there we go. Number 1 full, number 2 same thing. You almost can't help having some degree of spillage when you do this. Whoops, I was looking at the camera rather than the bottle. There we go. Okay. Okay, so okay, I'm gonna get diesel all over my hands. And I'm doing this now because I've got to go and pick up the brand new alternator shortly, so I want to get the fuel first, save time later, and just put it back. Do you know what, it's hardly worth trying to wipe them clean of diesel. Let's just hope the bag keeps the diesel away from my rucksack. There we go. So let's try and get the excess off. No bin. Take that with me. So there we go. 10 litres of fresh, lovely, juicy diesel, and I can go and top up the boat, ready to do the 5 hours or more of engine charging that I'm going to have to do. And the reason I've got to do 5 hours is I want to get the handlebars, the brake levers have got diesel on them. It's kind of slightly slimy stuff, this. I want to get the battery fully charged before the guy turns up, which I think will be tomorrow. I think he's coming tomorrow with a bit of luck. But before he arrives, I want to get the battery fully charged. I do not want, there we go, I do not want to, if something goes wrong and it fails, the new alternator or with its installation, you know, you never quite know. It's a relatively straightforward job for a mechanic, but if something does go wrong with it or its connections, I will have fully charged batteries before that happens. So I've got some contingency time to do something about it before I run out of charge. Now another option is to buy a generator, which I haven't got at the moment. Buy a generator, buy petrol, run the generator, and that will charge the batteries up. And it's a good backup option, and I might well do that, but I haven't got one at the moment. And a good generator is like 400 or 500 quid plus a charger, so it's a significant investment. But anyway, step one, get the boat with enough fuel that I can charge the batteries. I'm expecting the parcel to arrive sometime in the next hour, and the shop is about 2 miles away. But as I say, on the bike that's fine. Although it's cold enough, I should have put gloves on. Should have put gloves on for this ride. Fingers are freezing. So here we are. I'm not going to start the engine charging, although I could do. I could do. So I'm just waving a little miniature Yorkshire Terrier thing, barking at me. I was saying hello to it the other day. They do love a good bark, but they're just adorable. Right. So. I hope my rucksack's okay after this. It's a very thick bag. The diesel is just awful stuff. It just goes underneath. So let's get the bag out for now. So just stash that there for now. So the first thing to do, get this thing topped up. So before any replacement of alternators is done, I know I've got power long enough to last through a potential problem, an easy one anyway. A significant one means I'll have to buy a generator. Hopefully that won't happen. So what happens is, nozzle goes in there, and then just away we go. It's only 5 litres these, so they're really easy to handle. Okay. Some people put locks on these things. I think I'm going to see if I can figure something out, because it's not unknown for fuel to be stolen from boats. You know, there's generally like 150 litres in there, and it's diesel, so it could be £200 worth in a tank, and all it's got is this. So there we go. Anyway, I've only got 10 litres, so it's not fantastic, but 10 litres is enough. 2 hours, 2 litres a day, 2 hours a day. It's enough for 5 days. Except it's not enough, because I'm going to have to run this engine for about 6 hours today, which is just ludicrous to create a paltry. So there's the bike locked up. Always lock the bike up in towns. Right, stage 1 done. I think I might as well start the engine. The parcel will arrive in the next hour or so, the new alternator, but given it's got to run for so long, I might as well get some running of it done now. In fact, I should have started it this morning. Right. Right, okay guys, so change of plan, slight change of plan. Engine's still going to need like 6 hours of charging, but I'm not going to do it now. So let's cover the panel up. My little, it's actually a rucksack cover, this. And let's unchain the beast, because I'm going to go and pick up the alternator. There we go. Right. Because, look. So, before I could even start the engine, parcels arrived, and to make sure I don't lose track, I'm going to set up a route. Well, I have set up a route which I've called Alternator Pickup. It's only 1.5 miles, so it should be a doddle. So I'm going to leave the phone there for now. I've also, by the way, just in case the alternator with its packaging doesn't fit inside the small rucksack, I've brought luggage straps to secure it to the rucksack. I've even brought a pannier, because when you do all your shopping, sorry, leave the gloves off, where's the coat? Coat's inside, genius. Because when you do all your shopping by bicycle, you tend to never miss the chance to pick up, you know, if you go past a shop, pick up the odd useful item. Coat. Where's the coat? Okay, it's cold enough today, down to about sort of 5 degrees, and it's windy as well. The aftermath of Storm Dara, which very conveniently happened as my problem developed. So that was great. Right, okay, bike's free. Let's get the rucksack on. Let's go and get this alternator. Get the engine running. I've also got to get water as well. I've also got to pick up water, because I haven't moved the boat because the alternator's bust. I'm staying here until it gets fixed, hopefully in the next day or two. Gloves are just essential now for anything but a 5-minute ride. Even on a 5-minute ride, to be honest, you know. Right, let's get the bike off. This is where, when you have to lift your bike over banks like this is where you appreciate having one that's doesn't weigh 30 kilograms like some of those Engway ones. Sometimes the lift to the bank is problematic, or at least not straightforward. Right. Now, the navigation isn't working. I think I know the way anyway. I did this the other day for something. Right. The ground is bloody treacherous. I've nearly slipped over about 3 times on these wet leaves that are plastering the ground. Much more dodgy than you would expect. Anyway, let's get over. Might as well stay on the pavement. Right, what I'll also do is I'm going to change the scale on this map and zoom it in a bit. I just don't find it that useful. Anyway, the scale's just not helpful. Right, so there's not much else to see now. It's a mile to the, mile and a half to the pickup point. Fantastic! What was absolutely brilliant news. Hang on, there's a jogger. Okay, how can I get past him? Oh, brilliant! He's off. Right, yeah, brilliant news, right? I rang up the company. There's only one company in the UK who sell an alternator that I know fits my engine. If it does, hope it does. And what they do, hang on. Do you know what? I'm going to go on the road. It's just too much hassle dodging pedestrians here. So, yeah, they sent it via a DHL service. Anyway, most of them do it, but it allows local collection at a local nominated point, like a shop. So it doesn't have to be sent to a home address. Because I could have had it sent to my daughter in London, but that would have added another delay while it was then shipped on to me. But they did the thing themselves. So that was fantastic news. Not only that, but it's arrived quicker than I expected. I was kind of expecting it tomorrow, and I've got it today. Right, I think I've got a right turn. Have I? No, I haven't. Right. There's a sign directing me onto here. Oh, I see. And now it runs out. I've got to cross over anyway. Here we go. Whoops. Brilliant. Why bother put me on a path for 100 yards? Anyway, so the things arrived quicker than I expected. Because I ordered it yesterday. And what I can also do is phone River Canal Rescue, because phase 3 of the plan is to get the thing installed. I don't have the skill to do it. I could possibly do it, but it involves reaching down behind the engine at an impossible angle, and it would be a massive struggle, and I'd end up with various muscular injuries. So I'm not doing it. The good news is RCR, the rescue company, even though they don't cover domestic alternators, have agreed to send a guy to fix it. Right, to install it for a £65 charge. So, and the alternator itself was £250. So unfortunately, I'm £300 worse off by the time this is over. But the alternator is, 9 years old, along with the boat. So, it can't be that much of a surprise when an alternator starts failing after 9 years. And because of my lithium batteries, I do work it a bit harder than I feel like it normally would be. Right, I'm running out of cycle path again. But so I'm gonna check behind. It was free, but it isn't. The head isn't now. Okay. Right. Now I've got to turn right to here, over the next junction. So I need to get in position. In fact, what I'll do is I'll use the cycle path. It's appeared again. I'm going down here. Right, where's it gone? Oh Christ. There's nothing up ahead. I might as well just get on the road. I think it runs out shortly anyway. Anyway, I've got to go left in a couple of 100 yards, so let's see what that's all about. This is a kind of uphill, probably doesn't look much on the camera, which is an absolute killer without power. Great for your stamina though, to be fair. Mind you, even when I was super fit, I used to hate doing these kind of uphills. There was a couple on my commute ride into work and I dreaded them. This is this is where the e-bike comes into its own. Just takes the unpleasantness out. And if you really want to do it, you can. Turn the motor off and do the odd hill. Well, that wasn't the odd hill. That was a nasty one. Anyway, I can always hear people, proper cyclists, laughing at me for saying that was a proper hill. Right, where's this turn? Supposed to be a left turn. Right, where is it? Further up again. I'm going to double check on this map that I'm definitely on the right route. This is the route I cycled to pick up an oil filter from eBay a few days ago. So I have been here. Right, okay. Yeah, it is, it's just ahead. There is no left turn. It's just up here on the right. Brilliant. We're here. What was it telling me a left turn for? Apart from that, it's a cracking app, this Ride with GPS. Gotta say that. Right. Tell you what. Let's put the bike over here. So, doesn't fit in the bag, but it'll fit outside the bag. So, my old trick, box on top of bag, luggage straps, and I'm golden. Right, come on. There we go. Now, pull that as tight as possible. There we go. Strap one is on. Second strap. Okay, and again. Pull it tight. There's our alternator, ready to go. So I'm going to put the navigation on for the first bit, just to make absolutely sure that I don't take a wrong turn on this little route. Alternator at the ready. Let's get back Oh, forgot the gloves. I will stop for those. I will stop for the gloves. Right, this is a big downhill. It's full of mud and it's full of leaves. I think I might go on the pavement if I can. Pavement's blocked off. Great. I'm going to get on the pavement here. No, I won't. Now it's just that I remember this next section from when I rode being quite steep and it was quite difficult to control. You've got to keep the bike down to a certain speed. Oh God, I've got a bloody error message or something going on. Okay, well we might have an issue with the bike now. I'm going to pull in and use this. Right. I'm getting a fault on the bike when I turn it on, look. Oh no. I mean, am I getting power? I don't know if I'm getting power. If I'm not getting power, then I've got a problem. This is the second fault in 6 months, isn't it? What an absolute pain. Honestly, it seems like one thing after another. Yeah, I've got no power from the thing. Are there any uphills? Anyway, I'm going to have to do some work here now to ride the thing without bloody power. Oh no, I'm getting some. Okay, well if it gives me power, I guess I can live with the display being broken. Buy a new display or whatever. Right. Yeah. It's annoying because I've kept, no, it's not giving me power. I've kept it dry as well. I've been gone on to my way to keep the thing dry to avoid electrical glitches. I think there are some uphills on the way. Oh yeah, there's one. I'll switch the camera off for that. It'll be too painful for the normal viewer to watch. The panting. Thankfully this bike is rideable pretty well. On the flat anyway, without power. Well, I'm having no luck in rugby at all. Alternator brakes. And now, e-bike's bust again. No, it's giving me some power now, it's intermittent. I don't know. Cheers mate, just squeeze past there. Nice one, thank you. On the water point over there, but these jugs fill up fairly quickly, so I'll head over. But yeah, the engine's running now, so I'm going to get some charge into the batteries before the guy turns up to replace the alternator, just in case anything goes wrong, because I know what these things are like. So before anyone meddles with my charging system, I want to get a decent charge. Here we go. What I'm going to do for now, I'm getting water. Hi mate. The dreaded walk of water. Yeah. The things we do. the idea is for me not to move the boat, but I need water, so I'm collecting water by hand, like so. I've got 2 10-litre containers. If I move the boat over here, there's about a 50-50 chance someone will take my spot, and I need to be here for another day or two until the boat is sorted. The alternator problem. There we go. So I'm going to make 3 or 4 of these trips to top up and have a second water container. Whoops, a bit windy. Tail end of Storm Dara. The second one is one of these flimsy collapsible ones, which are crap sort of to use, but you can squeeze down 4 of them into the same space as the other ones, the rigid, so they're really handy. They just bend all over the place, but they will work. So let's get this bad boy filled up. And right, top on. That's it. Right, so now I'm taking these 2 back and I'm going to fill up my boat's water tank by hand with a little funnel, and I'm going to do this same trip with 20 litres each time. I'll do it at least 3 times. 60 litres will do me for like 2 days, so every other day that I'm here I've got to do this little trip. It sounds like a pain, and if you were living in a domestic situation that's the way you would see it, but being this close to a water point it's actually pretty lucky. I consider myself lucky. So yeah, right. Get in. There we go. And this has got to be done 3 times today. There's no point in saving water when you're right next to a water point. You know, you might as well go for the full luxury of 30 litres a day. Second water run of the day. Well, it's about coming as well. Well, let's shut that tight. Second fill. So we've taken a step down here in terms of luxury from filling with a hose and a tank into actually carrying the water, physically carrying the water to the boat. But it's not far, so it doesn't feel like as much of an imposition or an inconvenience, sorry, as you might imagine. In winter, when you get a chance to moor next to a water point for 2 weeks, it does feel a bit like luxury. Even though we are surrounded by fairly nasty mud. There we go. Second fill done. One more. Now there's a chance that the alternator guy will attend this afternoon. They're going to give me a phone call if that's on the cards. And so I'm keeping the phone by me at all times. It looks like there's only 2 bolts needed to fit it, plus the belts, but it's in such an impossible position to access. I'd strain all sorts of muscles and ligaments and everything trying to do it. So I'll leave it to the experts. Kick the boots off on entry. Welly's back on. Time for the 3rd water run. And that'll do for today. Right. 3rd go. See, it deforms as it fills and the nozzle bends to one side and it just becomes a bit of a nuisance. Still good though, you know. I used to carry 1 water container for emergency situations, like in case I run out, which I very rarely do. But it's happened. There we go. So all the local boaters up and down the towpath here are appearing at different times of the day with their little bottles, because they've got the same idea as I have. Why bother running the engine and shifting the boat around when you can just, you know, bring a trolley. Because I guess boaters are used to using so little water anyway that it doesn't feel like a great imposition to walk a couple of 100 yards with some water. Bear in mind, the week before last, when I first arrived here, I was in there, had a bit of a sore back, and I was struggling to lift even a bag of coal. It wore off, and I'm back to normal now, but yeah, I remember thinking, well, how would I manage if I had a back issue that lasted more than a few days or a week? How would I manage in winter? A diesel stove is one answer. So you're not completely snookered, but that's a very large cost if you've already got a coal stove. Right. The guy in the boat behind me has got a hose like 200 feet long that he's been using. 60 litres of fresh, delicious water. Well done. Right, same afternoon, and I've just had word that the engineer, well, 10 minutes ago, that he'll be here in that car park in 20 minutes, so about 10 minutes to go. And so I've took the engine board off. This is the alternator down there, the domestic one. That's the starter one. That's the one that's the problem, and I think I've figured out why it might be broken. So I'm gonna disconnect the 12-volt batteries, and I'm gonna try and replace the lead down here in the bowels. That lead is too loose.